Hey guys, Stephen Harper here. So in this video we're going to replace the brake discs or brake rotors on the Mark 1 Golf. So why am I going to replace perfectly working good brakes? Well, I actually think they're warped. So the brake discs or brake rotors, depending where you live in the world, I think they're slightly warped, and when I put my foot on the brake you can feel this bouncing effect, which I think is warped brake rotors. So they're cheap enough, so we're going to replace them. So as always, the first job is to jack up your car. Now let's take off the wheels. Okay, so we look at the screw, and the previous owner, or some previous mechanic, wasn't me anyway, but they're after ringing the inside of the screw, so that has to be replaced. Great. Okay, now to undo the brake caliper. There we go. The previous time I was doing it, I did actually put copper grease onto it and a little bit of lithium grease to keep this sliding nice and neat, and that was the time I put in the anti-rattle pins, because the previous guy also didn't put in the anti-rattle pins. Next we get a screwdriver and try to wiggle it off, so I think we'd wiggle off from the bottom, if my memory's serving me right. Yeah. There we go, that's the brake. Oh look, the spider. Alright. You can see that's the sliding pins there, and they're well lubricated because this is a floating caliper. So what that means is, as the disc wears and as the pads wear, it has to be able to move in and out, so it's constantly adjusting itself. So yeah, make sure to always lubricate up these sliders. As in the case of removing a pad. That's my pads. They look okay. Still plenty of meat under them. Now we can remove the disc. Now this disc looks perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, but what I find is I'm thinking it's warped, because as I'm braking you can feel the pedal just jumping slightly up and down. So I think that's a warped brake disc or brake warped rotor, and I have a new one, so I'm just going to swap like for like. So in a very fancy box I got two brake rotors or brake discs. Yep, perfect. So what size did I get? I got G60, which is 280 mil across the outside. Do they fit the Mark 1 Golf? Of course they don't. They're off a Corrado originally, but on my car you can see just here it looks like a dog bone. There you go, it looks like a dog bone. So this bit here bolts onto the car, and the bit behind it bolts onto the caliper or the carrier. So that just pushes the whole assembly out. It's out by a set distance, and that allows me to run standard Mark 1 GTI brakes on a 28mm disc. Now of course they're not designed to run the bigger disc, so there is a little bit of gap in the disc that never gets used, but I have never once had any issue with my brakes. I absolutely think it's a great setup. Would be nice if it had the full touching of the disc, but because it's a bigger circumference that you're braking on, it is better brakes. The downside is you have to run 15s, you can't run anything smaller. So I run 15s anyway, so it's pretty much irrelevant for me. But yeah, you run 15-inch wheels, and not all the disc gets used. A way to get around all of this is, if I could find a set, Mark 1 Scirocco front brakes. The first generation of the Scirocco will fit the Mark 1 Golf, and they use the big calipers, so they do fit. Okay, that's the old disc. That's the new disc. They're exactly the same size. I'm going to run a bit of brake cleaner on this afterwards to clean it all up. But it's ready to be installed. Okay, so don't forget to clean as you go, so clean all the outside and the mating face and this face here. Clean it all down and take away any of the oil, the residue that's left. Now when we put it on, we'll have a clean surface. So one brake pad already installed, little screw hole to the top to match that one. Drop it in, line it up, and put in the little screw. Okay, so I have the pad on and I have the anti-rattle plates back on. So the side that has the two little clips sits on the outside. You can see it there as well. There's two little, maybe it's underneath. You see it there, there's two little pins at this side and there's only one at the far side. That's how you know. So the one is on the inside, double pins on the outside, and the clip points down, and obviously the opposite one points up. So that's how you know how to get the anti-rattle clips back in. They're really important because otherwise you're driving, all you hear is chatter, chatter, chatter. How do I fix this? I just ran the end grinder straight through the centre and then just used an ordinary flat blade screwdriver to wind it in. That's all I could do. Alright, now to get the caliper back on, which is hiding behind there, and then put on the wheel. Okay, I've knocked out the two little sliders. Got to spray some silicone spray in. That's one slider just there, and that's the other one just there. I cleaned them up so they're nice and clean. So that one's nice and clean there now. Nice little bit of dirt in my hand. Yes, I should be wearing gloves. Right, that's it now, sliding in and out nice and free. Right. Okay, now do the other side and then stick on the caliper. Okay guys, that's now one wheel all finished, so I'm delighted with that. It's the same on the opposite side, so I'm not going to record it. But I'm delighted with that, so thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, or press that super thanks button. Yeah, I have dirty hands, so yep, time to get back to it, so see you later.